The Small Company Coalition is working to help educate and empower rural communication providers around the U.S. To give us an update on broadband service in rural America, we're joined live by phone with Vincent Wiemer from the Small Company Coalition. Thank you so much, Vincent, for being with us. And give us a little update on the National Broadband Plan since we last spoke.
Well, the National Broadband Plan was supposed to be focused on rural America. It was provides that every American should have access to affordable broadband internet access and the opportunity to develop digital skills. Also, the anchor institutions in every community, such as schools, libraries, hospitals, and local government, should have access to affordable broadband service.
So exactly where are we now? How are things moving along, or have we made any progress?
Unfortunately, things are not going as planned. The Federal Communications Commission has instituted some actions that are actually having the opposite effect as those that were planned by the National Broadband Plan. Instead of providing incentives, the FCC has basically destroyed an economic model that's largely responsible for the successful deployment of modern broadband networks in much of rural America. They've cut the broadband funding, they've increased prices to rural customers, and they've threatened the existence of the rural telecom carriers that are providing these necessary broadband services. There's a lot that's at stake.
Absolutely. I mean, we're talking about all farmers, ranchers, and producers that are relying on technology to make progress. So what really is at stake if something is not changed?
Well, you've summed it up pretty well. There's a vibrant rural economy out there that depends on broadband services for local businesses and industry, as well as access to education, health services, and entertainment. The FCC's actions are basically going to turn rural Americans into second-class citizens by denying them the technology, the jobs, the education, and the services that are needed to compete in the information age.
Absolutely. And just because you choose to live in a small town doesn't mean that you shouldn't have access to those services. What can people do? How can we help get this turned back around and headed in the right direction?
Well, at this point, we've kind of got a runaway train that the only way that's going to be able to stop it is through congressional intervention. Congress really needs to pass some legislation that would enact an economic model that will actually accomplish the goals of the National Broadband Plan. The Small Company Coalition has developed a plan that will provide affordable broadband service to rural consumers and institutions while also incenting investment and development of rural economies. I would suggest and encourage rural Americans to call their U.S. senators and congressmen and express their concerns with the FCC's actions and the decreased broadband funding for rural areas.
Very good advice. Thank you so much, Vincent Weimer with the Small Company Coalition. Keep us updated on what's happening with this, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.